Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. I hope you are having a fabulous week so far. So, in today's episode, I want to chat to you about something that I call not ready syndrome. Okay, so I want to know, are you waiting for the perfect time, or are you waiting until you feel completely ready? Or the big one I hear all the time, when I have more time, I will do it. Okay. So it is natural to have doubts and uncertainties when you are starting something new. Okay. But it is also important, like so important to push through those doubts, push through those stories that you are telling yourself to take steps towards your goal. Okay. Basically, you have a negative impact on this, okay? Like basically, this can have a negative impact on you and your personal growth and your success or even your health, okay? If you are continuously sitting in the not ready syndrome. Okay, so what is not ready syndrome? All right. So basically, what I believe it is it refers to the feeling you might have. That feeling of maybe you feel like you're unprepared to start something or you're hesitant to take on a particular task or a particular responsibility. And I think it's more common than you think. Okay. Many people find that they experience this when they're faced with new challenges or new opportunities. Um, I see a lot of it as when I'm coaching coaches, for example. It's very common that coaches may feel that they need another certification. Okay. They need to learn another skill before they can actually start seeing clients. Okay. I see it in, my other organization, my network marketing organization. I see it with people in my team who feel like they need to learn all the ingredients that are in the products before they can start. Or, people are not going to go live on Facebook or record that video on Facebook until, their background is perfect and the lighting is perfect. And maybe they've got a professional lighting or something like that. It's constantly that kind of second guessing their ability before they can start. Okay. Um, and the big one, and I hear this all the time. Okay. And I'm guilty of doing this one as well. When we say, I will start when I have more time. Okay. When I'm less busy. Now, I hate to break it to you, but I want you to look back and think of if you are saying that to yourself now, I want you to look back and kind of 5 years ago, were you less busy than you are now? Were you honestly less busy than you are now? Life is busy, okay? And we can take control of that. So life is busy, but if you're using that as an excuse, I don't think I'm any less busier than I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Um, I'm getting busier and busier as my children get older, as they get more commitments, and as I want to get more out of my life. Things are busy, okay? Which I wouldn't change. But if we're using that as an excuse, waiting for the right time, now is the right time. Okay? Now is the right time to do that new thing, to jump into that opportunity or whatever it might be for you. Okay? And then another one that I find is very common. Are you comparing your journey to somebody else's journey? So are you potentially comparing your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 10, to somebody else's chapter 20, or whatever it might be? So let's just look at myself for an example. I'm only up to podcast episode, whether or not I don't know if it's number 3, number 4, number 5. Now, is this perfect? No, absolutely not. But do I spend another week, another 2 weeks trying to perfect my script? Or do I go, you know what? I have put preparation into it. I've my thoughts together. I've done some research. I've worked out what I want to talk about, what my topic is, what I feel that people need to hear at the moment. And then I'm just jumping in and doing it. Now I could sit there for ages going, oh, I'll just redo it again. Whereas I'm just going to jump in and do it. Okay? Do I mess up my words sometimes? Absolutely. But, you know, I think that messy action of just jumping in and doing it is what is the difference between those that are kind of still waiting for the perfect time, for example, or still waiting until they learn some more skills or until, the time is right. Um, but let's just get in and do it. So, or are you the perfectionist or are you the procrastinator? Okay. So, something to think about. So, what are you maybe saying to yourselves that you're possibly not even consciously aware that you are suffering from not ready syndrome? So, have a think. Are you saying something to yourself like that? Okay. So, how do we get past this not ready syndrome? Okay. Or even we could call it imposter syndrome if you've heard of it before, like that. So, first of all, we need to get real with ourselves. And we need to ask ourselves some deep questions because why? Why are we not doing it? Okay. Is it a skill thing? Is it a skill thing? Is it that we feel like we're not prepared? And that could be true. You may need to learn a skill. You may need to learn something. Um, or is it a fear? Is it some self-doubt that's creeping in? What are we saying to ourselves? Okay. And we might need to be really aware, like really pay attention to what we're saying to ourselves, because quite often it's what we're saying with, to ourselves in our unconscious mind that's actually going to be affecting this, not our conscious mind. Okay, so it's the little stories that are kind of going on in the back of your brain, that are kind of or back in your head and that kind of making you think, oh, I'm not ready to start this. So, what are you saying to yourselves? Is it a skill thing and you do legitimately need to learn a skill? Or is there something else holding you back? So I'll give you an example. Even me starting this podcast, it's been an idea of mine, I don't for years. Okay. Now, if I would have just woke up one morning and went, okay, that's it, I'm going to do it, wasn't ready. And that was a legitimate excuse as such because I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what equipment I might have needed. I didn't know how to actually upload a podcast to make it, listenable. Is that a word? Listenable? So that you guys could actually listen in to my podcast. So I had to do some research. I had to find out, we had to do some research into how do you put music over the intro that kind of gets played, things like that. However, once that was done, I could sit there and I could be the perfectionist and trying to get it absolutely perfect, what I say in the intro and what I say in the outro, or I could just get in and do it. Okay. So that is going to be the difference. So you do need some skills. So I don't think you can just wake up one morning and go, this is something I want to do. But do you know enough already? What is holding you back? Is it a fear? Is it a self-doubt? Are you comparing yourself to others? What is it? Okay. So you need to ask yourself some questions like that. So another thing I just want to kind of let you think about, if you're not following through, okay? If you're not following through, you may be suffering from not ready syndrome. Are you like breaking promises to yourself? Okay. I know, and it's a high value of mine, that if I say that I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Okay. Um, to the point even that sometimes I'm like, you know what, if I don't feel like I can 100% commit to this, I'm going to have to decline it, or I'm going to have to say, look, I can't make 100% commitment to you on this because I don't know if I can, achieve the deliverables that are required. Okay. Same as in my coaching business. I'm not going to commit to actually going in and speaking at an event if I feel like I'm not going to be able to make it happen. Do you know? It might conflict with my schedule, whatever it might be, because it is an important value of mine that what I say I'm going to do, that I'm going to do it. Okay. Now, if you have this value, for example, okay, if it's important for you, that authenticity, that integrity, that what you say you're going to do, that you follow up because you don't want to let the people down around you, I just want to ask you, are you breaking those promises that you've made to yourself? Are you saying that you want to do something, but then not doing it? Just something to think about because quite often I find that we are making sure that we follow through on everybody else's, requests and things like that, but we're not following through on the promises that we make to ourselves. Now, what kind of example is that setting if you're a parent? Okay, something to think about. I'm bringing some hard truths, some hard things that you might not want to hear today. However, if you have a goal or if there's something that you want to do and you want to push forward with, unfortunately, you need to push through that fear. You need to push through outside the comfort zone and you need to take action. And in all honesty, after you've identified what is potentially holding you back, keeping you in that not ready syndrome, not moving forward, once you make a decision, you've identified first of all that it's not a skill thing, that you know what you need to know, or that you make a decision that you might not know everything now, but you're going to find out what you need to know. That's it. Make a decision. Decide that you're going to do it. Okay. And then do it. So it's kind of like decide and do. Decide and do. So decide what you want to do and then take action towards whatever it might be. Okay. And it does help if you have a belief that you can do it. Okay. Because whether or not you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. And you'll probably hear me say that all the time because I think that is my most favorite saying whatsoever. That's it. So if you are suffering from not ready syndrome, okay, what do you need to do? You need to identify why. Okay. Ask yourself some deep questions. Why are you suffering from not ready syndrome? Or are you even aware of what you're saying, no to? Okay. So find out why. Then, if it is something that you genuinely want to do, decide that you want to do it, take action. Okay. Do the do. And then adopt the belief that you can do it, okay? That you're not going to break a promise to yourself, that you are going to do what you set out to do. And I promise you, once you start and you get that momentum happening, it becomes so much easier. So anyway, I hope this was helpful for you. I'd like you to spend a little bit of time and ask yourself some questions around what maybe you're you know, have going on with regards to not ready syndrome. And then, yeah, see if you can make a decision and move forward on it. But anyway, if you found this of any value or you think you have any friends or family that could get benefit out of this, I would love for you to share. Otherwise, I will be back next week with another topic that I hope will be super helpful for you all. All right, take care. Bye, everyone.